hell is going on? You just need to brush it. Ugh. That's whatever. I can deal with it. Alright. Can I? Can I deal with it? Well, I don't know. It looks kind of bad. Try and move over some of the middle part. I never know. Hi tubes. It's been a couple days. I have been fairly sickly and weak, but I am feeling motivated enough that I am here. And there's something up with like my hairline, the way I'm doing my bangs, but I'll fix it after, even though I probably should have fixed it before, which I kind of was, but I hit record. Wait. It's because I keep trying to use it like it's a mirror, but it's a camera, not a mirror, so it's not like flipped. Whatever. Whatever. It'll help make sure no one notices my mustache is also uneven, because you'll be looking at this, not at this. Hopefully not even at this. Oh, okay, sorry. I lost track of the little thing, and I thought, oh wait, have I not been recording while talking? But I have been, so that's good. Here it is. Here it is, I got it. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Just tuck it back. Wait, nope. Tuck it back there. There we go. Okay, I'll probably brush my hair after this. It's very tangled. Hi tubes, it's me, your favorite schizo autist, who is a chud and is stuck in his parents' basement. Got some updates. Health has kind of been boo-boo AIDS. I have been such a good boy about not drinking alcohol, and despite my recent proclivity for cigarettes, I've only smoked 2 of them since buying that pack, I think on the 28th or 27th. I bought it last month. So I think I'm doing a good job, not being too addicted to them, although there is the sweet drag of a Marlboro Red. You know, it still haunts me how cool and crisp it is. I'm stressed and I'm a little upset. So, as I've been talking about, I've been trying to buy a home lately. And there was this one that was really cute. Me and Danny were really in love with it. It was really sweet. Then it turned out, when Mr. Inspection Man got in the crawl space, no foundation. My real estate agent was talking to her, and she was like, yeah, well, the homeowner, she doesn't really see that as a problem. It's not a problem that there's no foundation and the house is gonna fucking collapse. Whatever. The thing is, if I'm being honest, the thing is kind of clearly a death trap, so it's a good thing that I'm getting out of the deal, but it is a bummer because the crazy people have been extra angry about me being alive lately. I think it's because they're disappointed I haven't killed myself yet. They do not want me here. So angry, so loud, so always on the verge of violence. And like, I get it. I get you don't want me living here. You've made that very clear every day since I was a small child, that I'm an inconvenience and that I'm so terrible to have around. But like, literally at this point, they have us like, I hardly even leave the basement. I never go upstairs to cook anything. I only go through the upstairs when I'm leaving the house. They don't come down here normally either. I mean, there's been extenuous periods where the only person living down here is me in the cursed little bedroom down there, and they still never used the basement. I mean, they would blame whoever was living down here, like whichever of my previous brothers. But then whenever they'd move out, the basement would be empty and there'd be a lot of space for them to do whatever, and then they would never utilize it. So then I started to utilize it, but oh no, I shouldn't have done that. I think it's because they're just so psychotic they can't maintain real relationships themselves and they push others away. But they just get so angry about like their kids having genuine human connection, and I think it's because they can't. They're almost like jealous, right? That they're so inept and cruel and callous and nasty and self-centered that they can't possibly fathom why anyone would want to be friends with their, their nasty, terrible children that they hate, versus them and their glory and their ego. Um, but like even they're really fucked up kids, like the little ones, even they, have been successfully like making friends and social connections and stuff. Um, and it just makes me wonder, like, because I can see the way that like they'll eventually start. Because once I move out, they're gonna have to reassess who they gang up on and who they hate the most, and it'll probably turn towards one of the little kids. And I'm curious like how that's gonna turn out for him because uh, the one I'm thinking of that they'll probably turn on, he's only, I think he turned 12 recently. He's extremely mentally ill, possibly disabled, but I don't think they believe in that kind of disability, like mental disability. So I don't know if they'll ever do anything for him. Uh, he reacts very violently with large outbursts. Every bedroom door in the house has been broken down by him at least once because he's been trying to get inside to hurt whoever's in there. So I'm assuming that when they try to do it to him, he's going to start lashing out, especially since now he's going to hit puberty. I think they pick on him a lot because he's small and they know he can't fight back. Like, how to put this? He's got that strength, right? Like, he'll put holes in the drywall, he'll break doors down. He's still small, he's still skinny. Like, they can still, like, pin him if they need to. He's gonna hit a growth spurt soon, right? Um, well, I mean, one of them has. He's hit a growth spurt, and like the moment he gets out of control, uh, it's all hell. My mother was like sitting on the couch and she was like joking and she was like, "Yeah, well, it's been a while since Tanner got the school locked down." I was like, "Tanner got the school locked down?" She got a thing on her phone that like, uh, West Schoolton school systems is locked down because of a violent child outbreaking in class, and my mom was like, "Oh, tee hee ha ha. What are the odds? What are the odds that would be like that would be Tanner or something?" And then later she gets a voicemail, "Hey, you need to come pick up your son. We had to put the school into lockdown because he was getting violent and leaving class." And it's like it's just a funny joke for her because her and my father, they don't really see their kids as like their problems or their responsibility. Um, and a part of that is the fact that they had totally absent parents themselves. So I understand that they have no preconception for what being raised should look like. But I am a childless, like 22-year-old, and I mean, I did have to like step in a little bit, uh, with like my raising my brother and sister. Um, I feel like I have a better preconception on how to raise a child than this woman who's pumped out five of them. I don't know. It's just kind of crazy to me. Um, yeah, this whole tirade was to say that I am very depressingly still stuck with the crazy people, and I don't know how much longer I'll be stuck with them. Uh, because this house that me and Danny were looking at, it went through, it fell through. Not literally, it hasn't literally fallen through yet, but it's being held up by the floor on dirt, with no real foundation, and water and erosion gets in. So it's a pretty big fucking like danger. It's a pretty big hazard. And the fact that the homeowner is so nonchalant about it is kind of scary. Um, I digress. Time for me to complain about my medical issues. I was talking about how I've been really good about not drinking any alcohol and how I've only had two cigarettes. I, my POTS has been interesting. I don't know if it's bad or not because I've never had POTS, and I don't know if, like, relative to another person, if this is actually really mild. But for me, this has been kind of a bad experience, or at least a very intensive one. in the mornings, like this morning, I wake up and I am so weak. My heart is, I'm like, and it's worse if I'm thirsty because I guess dehydration does something. But dude, I did not feel good. And it's like that every morning. I'm so exhausted. I'm so tired. And I've always had like rough mornings on account of like my tummy issues and my insomnia. But with with the POTS, I've just like I'm so weak. It feels like there's not enough blood getting to any of my muscles or my organs or anything. Uh, I don't know, and that's why I stopped recording videos for a couple days. I don't know if you guys could tell. A lot of I think I uploaded like 4 videos or something, but all of them were recorded within like a day or two, and I was just editing and uploading them as I went. I got thirsty. I need water. I'm so sorry. I had something in my throat and I cleared it, and I was like, oh, well, it was still clearing it. I won't make that noise again, I swear. Staring off. I gotta make sure I don't stare off and disassociate, you know? I'm trying to lock in. I think that getting back into making the diary videos will also be good for me because then I get to focus on my speaking and my thinking. And ever since getting conked, I've been a little slower than I was before, and that kind of scares me because it's weird. It's weird to literally feel dumber. I misspell words now. I used to always have like perfect spelling. Um, and now I'm constantly like mixing up for example, like this one just popped off the top of my head. Like here, like the location versus here, like hearing things. I meant to write here the other day and I wrote like here, like here's something. And I never do that. I'm normally like very careful. Um, and I don't know, it just kind of throws me. And I'm struggling a lot with playing instruments still. Um, I've been trying to practice guitar, but I'm not as fast as I was. And granted, I did take a couple weeks off, but like I've had a period where like took like over a month off, and I came back and was, well, I mean not like no Kirk Hammett, no Lars Larry, no Lars Lalonde, but no Larry Lalonde, but like better than this, like I record my guitar improvs. I upload things that I'm proud of on the YouTubes. That no one listens to them, but I'm proud of them and I put them there. Uh, and I don't think I'm half bad whenever I'm at full capacity. I think I have something like kind of unique going. It's a little simple, little grungy, little psychedelic, little metally. It hits a lot of parts of the spectrum. I hit a lot of parts of the spectrum. But I'm trying to make an interesting type of music. Um, it'll be very layered, and I like the crunchy guitar and the twink twink bass. Um, and lots of pedals. I want to have lots of pedals. And I need to get a new amp. I need to get a nice amp. That thing I got is pretty mid. It's old, some old 90s, even a beginner amp that I stole from my father. Um, and now I use it for my guitar. And it's okay. It's just okay. But I want like a Marshall high watt with like the big headstock on it, and they can fucking set it up like behind me like a fucking building. It'd be so cool. It would be so cool. Instead, I'm a sickly autistic chud, and I'm struggling to return to work. My return to work. Today was the last day for them to tell me I can have my job again, and I faxed them the thing they needed. I gave things to my boss. I emailed a person. I've received no news. I I wonder if I'm fired today. Sorry, that just dawned on me. Um, they might have also terminated my employment, which works out fine. I guess, because then I can find a new job. What my boss said I can go back to my old job, but I'll have to take a pay cut and like restart. Which it's like $1.06. I'd be going from like 16 something to like to $15 an hour. Which in my area, $15 an hour is quite good. But losing that dollar something would kind of be terrible. Also, then it would break up like my employment history, because then I would have 3 years at this job and then however much longer at the same job. That's kind of wacky, right? You know what? Maybe I'm gonna check my email. Maybe I do have a job still. Okay, I have checked the email. There is no news about my employment. So I guess today I'll talk to my boss and see if she's gotten like a notice of termination or anything about me. But if not, I guess we'll have to like call like the corporate help desk to see if there's any way they can take me off of the leave thing. Because my leave was supposed to end on the 4th, and then I was supposed to be able to get back to work on like the 5th and the 6th. It's the 8th, and I've still worked 0 hours of a job. Uh, and this isn't good because you know, money's thin. What papers thin. Money's tight, around these parts, around here. Um, and I've got a little bit of savings, but those are supposed to be the down payment for my house, as well as my emergency savings for if I'm unemployed while I have my house. I'm unemployed and living in my parents' basement. Well, hypothetically, I would be unemployed and living in my parents' basement. Um, yeah. Uh, on one hand, woo, time off, yay! On the other hand, no money. I can probably figure it out though. I'm pretty good at budgeting. The the worst I am about my budgeting is whenever I start buying soda pops and large quantities of alcohol to go with the soda pops. Um, but I'm pretty money savvy when it comes to my boozing. I shop for deals, and I'm not like an entire bottle kind of guy. The exception would be like maybe if I'm at like a really active party and I have a fifth of Jaeger, and I'm sharing that with people, I might finish that. Uh, but that would be like a lot, and I would I would need to settle down for a couple days afterwards because that's a lot of alcohol. Uh, but I mean, it's good for my calorie intake. Putting some fat on my bones. 'Cause alcohol causes your body to digest it as your primary calorie, and it works like a carbohydrate, but worse. Uh, so whatever it doesn't utilize is turned into fat, and then all the food in your body can't use that right away because it's used alcohol first. So it also turns all that into body fat, which yeah, I mean, I should probably just be eating like cheeseburgers and drinking large quantities of beer. But then I have to get back into weightlifting if I'm going to do that, and I'm having trouble exercising. I'm not ready for bench press yet, but I've been doing a little push-ups. Uh, I've been doing like just a tiny bit of push-ups, like only like 10 or 20, um, just to test the waters for like lifting and exercise. And the waters aren't good, chief. The waters are quite bad actually. Um, Heart rate picks up quite a bit. I start fainting. It's been a lot. Uh, with like having new medical issues because I become kind of complacent, with dealing with my old ones. I knew how to deal with them. I don't wake up till a certain time of day. I eat certain things for breakfast. Uh, it's protein. It's a protein shake with chips and salsa. That's my breakfast. It's the only thing I can consistently eat every day. And I haven't even eaten it yet, and it's already 1 o'clock. Um, I don't know, man. Oh, my insomnia is always really bad, but I managed to figure out a cycle that worked with my stomach, so that way I'd sleep from about 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. every day. Uh, and this would also avoid the worst time of the day for my stomach, which is, it's weird. It's like I start having really insane acid issues between like 4 a.m. and like 7 or 8 a.m. Um, and if I'm asleep for it, I can normally like I can stay unconscious and coast my way through it. But if I'm awake for it, it hurts so bad, ruins my whole day, ruins my appetite all day, just so much stuff. And I'm not really sure what it is. I've experimented with trying to like have like fiber or protein in my stomach before bed, or like different things like eating earlier and earlier in the day, or in like making sure I go to bed on an empty stomach, or making sure I don't go to bed on an empty stomach. Like I've tried different things and just nothing works. It's just always upset during those times of day, and I've just had to avoid like working first shift because of that. I actually had to. That's that my job was very nice and accommodating about my health issues, which is a concern I have about going to other jobs. Because like I so I struggle working more than like 6 hours, and then at like 8 or 9 hours I start having my knees like give out, and then at like 10 or 11 they really give out, and like I stop being able to mask my autism, and it's like, all right, this is a bad time. I gotta go. So my absolute hard limit is like 10 hours. I used to have a job that would have me work for like 12 hours, and I was gonna fucking kill myself. Not the point, not the point. Uh, my job is nice and accommodating. You know, they make a lot of my shifts like 7 hours because that's a good threshold of a decent amount of time worked with, like while also giving me breaks and being short enough for me. And you know, they have me work second shift, and that works for my tummy stuff. And I get to avoid a couple tasks in the job that are a little more triggering to like the tism. Like there's this one specific machine that's really loud, but it doesn't need to be used very often, so I can normally get away with asking another member of staff for help because it's so loud. And I don't know what's wrong with it, but the pitch that they use for like this loud beeping that it makes, it like rings out, and it really triggers my tinnitus really bad, so my ears are ringing for a couple minutes after, and it's unfortunate. It's a bad machine. Um, but I had a lot of these accommodations and supports from my previous job that made me allowed to keep my employment. And I kept my employment for 3 years, which for me is, I find to be quite good. Uh, I know there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I've been working in the same factory for 10 years. I've been dealing with my tummy for 10 years, so, you know, I've got my own hills I'm fighting up. It's probably been closer to 14 years I've been dealing with my stomach. I don't know, it's just kind of bad. They gaslit me out of thinking it was bad in the first few years, though, so there's a middle point where I was just kind of ignoring it, thinking that, like, oh, I have, like, a personal problem because I'm not eating enough food, and I'm just, like, a pathetic chud. Because my parents would, I have very severe stomach issues, so I can't eat very much food, and then my parents would chastise and berate me for not eating enough growing up, uh, because that was my fault, um, I guess. uh, and that I would never grow up to be like an actual man and all that, and I'm pathetic and small, shrimply. Whenever they see me, they criticize my weight. It's another reason that I don't go, I don't hang out around them too often. I wore shorts for the first time in like 2 years, and they're all getting on me about how I'm too skinny and how I'm not eating, and my lifestyle is, it's not right, and that I need to, hang out with them more and do more with them, and it's like they're incredibly overweight, and they're all in very poor health, possibly as bad, if not worse than me. Um, they're just My mom is fucking whacked out of her shit on so much Adderall. Um, it's unreal. So much Adderall. It's crazy. Like I think it's above like the legal maximum dose. I think she has the legal maximum dose, and then her doctor has her have another tiny baby dose, so she can take them together to get the same like whatever. And my dad, I don't know what medication he's all amped up on now, but whatever it is, he he's really angry. They're really angry. They're all whacked out lately, and I don't know. Like my dad, he's got this fire about them, about him, this determination. He hasn't been like this angry one, but he's always been like a hard worker, and he's very litigious and gets with it, and like he held his job at like he was one of the how to put this. He managed North America's largest like laser and industrial cutting like sales company, but then he got laid off because he wouldn't be a yes man for some nepo baby who became the new like under the CEO, and their company kept screwing over their clients, and then their clients would walk away because they were getting screwed over, and he was like, hey, we're like literally hemorrhaging money because we keep screwing over the people who give us the most money, and then they stop giving us any money, and the nepo baby fired him. And I mean, it's the exact sort of like class culture he defends. It's the sort of corporate America that he idealizes. It's this thing that it's a machine and a system that he puts on a pedestal, and he thought he was up there on the pedestal with it. But the moment that like actual morality came up, the laws of profit over matter came into play, and he was booted from the system. And he's old though, and he had 10 years at a very high position in a prestigious company, so he was able to pick up again at another job managing a different sales team, uh, thus not actually needing to restart. He still gets paid a, a shit ton more money than I'll probably ever see in my lifetime. Uh, but I have no idea if he'll squander it or save it or what he'll do with it. I just know that he wants me out of here. And I know I want out of here myself. And my mother is very bipolar, so sometimes she doesn't actually want me out of here. But that's not a good thing because she's very bipolar, and so if I were to live here, she'd probably end up killing me in my sleep or something. So that's not good. But I digress. Um, yeah, basically, I'm just kind of upset about all my new health issues, and I'm just worried about not being able to be a productive enough member of society to survive, because I'm not a good enough worker ant. But I'm trying to be optimistic. Um, you know, just, it's hard to. I'm out like 600 bucks on the housing inspector. I'm not gonna get to move out. Me and Danny have got to go back to looking for more houses again. We'll have to reapply for new loans. Um, the bank that we got our loan with, they had us complete this like educational thing, like first time home buyers education course. And I shit you not, I spent like 4.5 hours doing that, like reading, skimming, clicking through, like just a mix between like actually doing it and mashing my way through as fast as possible. Took like 4 hours. I was so happy it was done. I was ready to move on to the next step of the shit. And then I get an email from like the loan underwriter and a callback, and they're like, "Hey, we actually sent you the wrong education course. You did yours through Freddie Mac when we need ours through Fannie Mae." So I've got that one about halfway redone. Ideally, when these are both done, I'll be able to just utilize the little certificate from them whenever I get a loan in the future. So be like, hey, actually, I do know the ins and outs a little bit of buying a house. You guys can trust me with large quantities of money. It's all just a big song and dance to make sure that the peasants can't uprise. Because if a regular person had enough money to own land, they wouldn't participate in the landlord system. They wouldn't pay their tithe to the lord above them. Uh, it's all just a system of sorry, it's all just a cycle of systems that are set up to be ineffective while keeping us shackled. You know,
Keeping us chained. We live in a society.
it's whatever. I've been rambling long enough. I should probably cut this one together and I'll upload it on the YouTubes. Uh, I'm tired. I slept good, but I'm still tired. I didn't get out of bed till like 11 something today. It's whatever though. So, I hope everyone has a great day, or at least a better day than I'm having. Uh, if you need friends, you should join the Chudcord. We have the Chudcord. It kind of pops off. We've got 20 people there. Sometimes we have a little more. Some of those people end up leaving. I think people just show up to check out what's going on. It's basically just a big group chat. I'm there a lot. I'm trying to make friends. Uh, yeah. Like I said, I hope everyone has a great day, and I will see you guys later. Have a good one.